aphorism 8. That is, removal of totality of symptoms is removal of disease. Yes, we all know this, that removal of totality of symptoms is removal of disease, as we have already studied 7th aphorism, which speaks to us regarding totality of symptoms, and it tells how to form the totality of symptoms and what is the use of the totality of symptoms, how we are using it in the treatment of the disease. So now what's the use? Why Hahnemann wrote this aphorism? See here, he is Hufeland. Hufeland was an apothecary and who was a journalist. In his journal, he would publish all the medical articles. He would even publish about homeopathy also. So once he commented in his journal as homeopathy removes the symptoms but the disease remains. So Hahnemann wanted to give an answer to this comment, right? Let's see how to explain. This whole disease should be considered as a disease, right? When disease, it has got roots, it has got trunk, and it has got branches. Suppose if a patient comes to us, consider that he will come to us with the presenting complaints. He will come to us with these branches, with the presenting complaints. That does not mean that he does not have the trunk and he does not have the root. It is our duty to find out how the disease, where the disease has started. That means causation, and how disease is developed. What all are the factors which helped to enhance the disease so that the disease has developed to this extent. Now what best we can do and how we can do to treat this disease. Okay. So when whole process, see, this is a process. Okay. We are considering the whole process. Whole phenomena is considered and targeted automatically. Then whole disease will be removed. It's not that only one symptom is removed, another symptom is removed, and some symptoms are remained there, and you are having still some disease left. No. Why? Because we are considering total phenomena, we are considering total process, and we are targeting it, right? So let us understand the whole thing once more in a simplest way. See here. Can you see this? This is a famous story. We know that there are blind men who are catching hold of this elephant and they are trying to explain elephant as they understand it. For example, one person is catching hold of ear and he says it is a fan. One person catching hold of tail and he is telling that this is a rope. One more person says it is a wall. One more person says it is a snake. So, exactly the same thing happens to us when a person comes in front of us and sits as a patient and he starts explaining about his present complaints and past history, about his life, right? For example, see, you think this as a present complaints, this as his mind, mentals, this about his life, personal history, and the friends and relatives also give some history, and then also you will come to know about the cause, what he feels about his disease, and there are modalities. All these things he will never put together them in a way which we want. Okay, he will give us the symptoms which are more problematic to him, which are more painful to him, and which are persistent now at present. These things have been narrated constantly by him. But now what we have to do is, yes, you have listened, for example, he has around 10 symptoms, right? So he will not give you symptoms in 1, 2, 3, 4 like that line by line. He will never give. He will give, you might be given 10th symptom first, 5th symptom afterwards, 8th symptom, then next. It is you who have to arrange whole of the thing in a logical way, that yes, the disease starting point is this, development point is this, and end point is this. This is how he has come to us, which will help us to understand the process and phenomena of the disease, and that helps us to remove the total disease. Hence, when Hahnemann gives us the guidelines to take the case, here he tells us not to neglect anything. So you are considering present complaints, you are considering past history, family history, personal history, and his total life is considered to treat the disease. Usually, all chronic diseases, you will find there is always one story behind every person and patient, and from that, what is important, you will have to collect and select the symptoms for your totality of symptoms and you will have to help the patient out. But now, what must have made these people say that homeopathy removes only symptoms, not the diseases? Why? Because Hahnemann started talking of only totality of symptoms and totality of symptoms. So now, so as to explain it more properly, we should give an example. For example, a patient has come to you with the five symptoms: acidity, appetite loss, irritability, sleeplessness, and uh, constipation. Right? So now, when he comes approaches us, we are not going to prescribe five remedies for five symptoms. For example, for appetite, we all know common medicine as alpha alpha, and for constipation, you are prescribing bryonia, and for this one for his acidity, you have given arsenic. We won't do that. We will have to consider the whole disease. Now he gave us five symptoms. Now what is my work is to understand why and how he developed all these symptoms and how to remove this, right? So what will you do? You go beyond. You give some more time to him. Then you try to understand him. Then you will come to know that yes, this man is a businessman, has set a goal for himself, and he is in a conflict. He is unable to achieve goal in a particular time, stipulated time. So what is he doing is he is taking a lot of stress, which is giving rise to sleeplessness. So as to come back with this stress, he has addicted himself to the stimulants, right? And then is not having appetite because he's worried constantly, and then there's a constipation, there is a acidity. When we see this total phenomena of the disease, the same phenomena of the drug also we find in materia medica, that is nux omega. Okay, because we have logically arranged this case, it becomes very easy for us to understand what he needs to target his disease, to make him all right. I think it's more clear now. What do you mean by symptomatic treatment? Removing of totality of symptoms, right? So let us understand it still more clearly. See, there's an individual and the environment. There's a constant struggle between the environmental factors and the individual. If at all person is able to adopt himself properly, if there's a good adaptation, and then there is a harmony, internal harmony with the external circumstances. And this helps in maintaining the equilibrium, and person is at ease. He enjoys his health. Health is created. Suppose if there is a failure of adaptation, there is disharmony with the environment. Disequilibrium is maintained. Then disease is brought. Now, how will you come to know that he is diseased? He will come to you with some symptoms. Symptoms on emotional level, intellectual level and physical level. What are we going to do is, how will you help is by curing this person of these symptoms. Now your work is to remove all the symptoms and cure him. How to do this? Now you are not considering emotional as separate, intellectual as separate and physical as separate. You will consider totality. In total you consider all these symptoms, right? And then select the remedy for whole of the symptoms and then target the disease. This creates absence of disease and again person will be able to enjoy the health. Thank you. Suppose if at all you have any doubt, you can ask me in a comment box. Also can go through description box for the footnote of 8th aphorism.